if you're smart, you'll have CG Medical Insurance, so you get the best coverage for the price.
Get the best coverage for the price. CG Brit-K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Best of the Best Promotion presents Summer Invasion with Popcorn live in concert. Friday, August 25th at Safe Haven. Music by Next Gen Sound. Firebug Sound Revolution. One Don. DJ Cobra. Hosted by Lady T. Get your tickets from Weather School Spot, Funky Tanks, Spinner Circle, Sneaker Lab, Oshik Beauty Bar, and eventpro.ky. General 80 pre-sale, 100 at the gate. VIP Era 125 pre-sale, 150 at the gate. Sponsored by Cayman Security Services Limited. Weather School Spot, Winner Circle, Funky Tank, and everything 345. This is 104.1 FM endorsed event. Gonna be able to party, drink responsibly.
This is For the Record with Orett Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orett Connor.
Good morning. O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Friday, the 25th day of August 2023, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember, the life you save may be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday and to remind you that the For the Record birthday shoutouts are proudly brought to you by Pizza Boat. Pizza Boat, they are now open in Queen's Court on West Bay Road. So, folks, hop on board the Pizza Boat Express. Pizza Boat makes pizza even more fun. You can pick up or you can have it delivered. Simply call 949-0000 or you order online by emailing www.pizzaboat.ky. For those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you as well. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. This morning, it is the radio voice of Silver Fox, Mr. Paul Akal, waiting to take your calls. You can call us on a toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261. Follow us on YouTube by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. And don't forget, we are on Facebook as well. So let's see who is celebrating a birthday today, who has celebrated one over the past few days, and who will be celebrating their birthdays during the weekend as well. And not to forget that this segment of the For the Record birthday shoutouts are proudly brought to you by Pizza Boat, who are now open in Queen's Court on West Bay Road. We encourage you to hop on board the Pizza Boat Express, because they make pizza even more fun. You can pick up or you can have it delivered. Simply call 949-0000 or order online via www.pizzaboat.ky. So we're going to start with yesterday, and Miss Eileen Wood asked us to read this belated happy birthday tribute and greeting to Captain Owen Farrington, and it reads, sending belated happy birthday wishes to Captain Owen Farrington, whose 91st birthday was last Friday, August 18th, and who was honored by his children, family, and friends with a birthday celebration last Saturday. Captain Owen is a well-known citizen of West Bay and served the people of the Cayman Islands as an elected vestryman for 2 years. He was later awarded the certificate and badge of honor by Her Majesty the Queen. May God continue to bless him and grant him many, many happy, healthy, and wonderful years. Many more happy, healthy, and wonderful years. And that's coming from Miss Eileen Wood. So that's Captain Owen Farrington. Today, we see Mr. Justin Wood celebrating his birthday. Want to wish him a happy birthday. And later on in during the week, we have tomorrow Mr. Horatio Esteban. He is celebrating his birthday. Dwayne Ebanks is also celebrating his birthday yesterday, and I have to declare an interest in this one. But my daughter, Raven Paloma Connor, she's celebrating her birthday tomorrow as well. Lucky for her, she is visiting Zanzibar and Kenya as well. Also, I think today she is on a safari also. So happy birthday greetings to Paloma, Raven Paloma Connor tomorrow when it comes, Mr. Horatio Esteban and Mr. Dwayne Ebanks. And then on Sunday, the 27th of August, Miss Janet Holness, she's celebrating her birthday, as well as Delva Hurlston Watler celebrating their birthdays on Sunday as well. And again, once more to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-outs are brought to you by Pizza Boat, who are now open in Queens Court on West Bay Road. So we urge you to hop on board the Pizza Boat Express. Pizza Boat, and why do you do that? We want you to hop on board because Pizza Boat makes pizza even more fun. What else? You can have it delivered or you can pick it up yourself. All you have to do is call 949-000, or you can order online via www.pizzaboat.ky. Folks, we're going to take a first commercial break. Of course, we started a little bit late this morning, but we do have many announcements, to make as well. And as a result of that, we ended up with a late start. But don't forget, after the 8 o'clock news, we will have Minister J. Ebanks in the studio with us, and Parliamentary Secretary and Member of Parliament, Mr. Isaac Rankin. So don't change that dial. Remember, they promised us on Wednesday that they would be back, and true to their promise, they are here. And after the 8 o'clock news, they will be on air. So please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
John Theophilus Bodden, 1883 to 1969. Certificate of Honor.
Theophilus Bodden served the District of East End with distinction for many years. Several times he was elected as a vestryman. He was an ordained elder of the East End Adventist Church, which he served for 53 years. He was married to Claudina Nee Jackson, with whom he had 4 children. He was a seaman and later a farmer and fisherman. While sailing on the United States ships, he was shipwrecked twice. The first time, the men were with the ship for 16 days before being rescued. The second time, they were adrift in a life raft for 12 days. Mr. Borden touched the lives of many people in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Through the Rotary Club of Cayman Brac, on behalf of the District Governor David Kirkcaldy, we, Rotary Central, the Rotary Clubs of the Cayman Islands and the Lions Clubs community, join our sister islands, Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, pausing to pay our respects to salute the passing of a citizen of note. This humble, gentle, genteel man of committed determination toward good, this engineer, photographer, Morse code and wireless operator, pioneer in the development of Cayman telecommunications, devout Christian, church elder, entrepreneur, patriarch of Tibbetts Enterprises at Cotton Tree Bay, pillar of Sister Island social and business development, a storyteller, Brac historian, D. Bernard Tibbetts, Mr. Bernard, this man of Caymanite resolve, this giant now rests. Our heartfelt condolences to Miss Vernice, James, Jonathan, Paul, Matthew, the Tibbetts family, and our Sister Islands community. Mr. Bernard, you have left this path much better than you found it. Rest in peace.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
West Bay Pharmacy. Personalized medicine, customized care to meet your specific needs. Your body is unique to you. Your medicine should be too. Whether you're seeking individual-specific medication, correct size dosages, or simply better tasting medicine, ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about how compounding at West Bay Pharmacy can increase your treatment options, not only for your family, but for your pets too. West Bay Pharmacy, open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., Sundays and most holidays from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
A few drops of blood. That's all we're asking for Step 3 of the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. These will help to measure the national prevalence of raised blood sugar and cholesterol, which will shape our healthcare services, our interventions, our prevention and education programming. Help us shape Cayman's healthcare services. Say yes to Step 3. For more information, contact the STEPS team on 936-4969.
Ready for more fun, more data, and endless connections? Digicel's all-new postpaid plans got you covered. Get more entertainment data for Netflix, Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok. Endless social data for WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. And more international minutes than ever before. Stay connected on the fastest, most reliable network in Cayman. Make the switch today. Digicel. Better connected.
Stop kicking that old washer or dryer and stressing out. Brand Source Home Gallery is having an August laundry sale. Save up to 15% on all brands. That's right, save up to 15% on GE, Samsung, LG, Beko, Frigidaire, Electrolux, and even heavy-duty commercial washers and dryers, both gas and electric. Shop Brand Source Home Gallery in August and find the island's largest selection of washers and dryers and save during the August laundry sale. Visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
I love Pizza Boat. It's yummy. It has my two favorite things combined, cheese and boats. Pizza Boat makes pizza way more fun.
Hop on board the Pizza Boat Express. Kids, now Pizza Boat makes pizza even more fun. Summer is here. Lunch or dinner, let Pizza Boat bring the fun. Pizza Boat, a Cayman twist to pizza, bringing fusion ingredients from all over the globe to give you locally inspired fresh pizzas all day, every day. Pizza Boat, now open in Queens Court on West Bay Road. Pick up or delivery 949-0000 or order online www.pizzaboat.ky.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Orett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I'm going to continue with the birthday shout-outs. We have about 3 minutes before we go to our 8 o'clock news. And, of course, you know, we had a lot of death announcements and we had other commercials as well. And, you know, with all due respect to everyone and all of the families who have lost loved ones, what we have to recognize in the Cayman Islands now is that we have become an older society. And as a result of that, you know, we're seeing more and more of our, unfortunately, seeing more and more of our elderly persons passing, you know, on as well, which is unfortunate, but certainly expected when you look at the numbers and see that we are an aging society. So you young bloods out there, we want to urge you to go out there and procreate, have more children, so that we can have a younger society. But I would imagine that it is cyclical as well. So we have we've been asked to shout out a happy birthday to Mr. Luke Hill, and that's coming from his dad, Mr. Stanley Hill, and Mr. Luke Hill is celebrating his birthday today. So, Mr. Luke Hill, happy birthday to you. We have another one here, belated birthday to our very own, yes, Mr. Joel Wilson. Belated happy birthday to Joel Wilson as well. And we have a question, and I'm going to read this now. That the gentleman will have 15 minutes to talk about, to listen. 15 minutes to think about it as well. This person says, good morning. When will our school kids be required to wear hats in this heat? When will they be required to wear hats? Okay, yeah. The hats will keep the sun off you, but also the hats to a certain extent will also keep the heat into your body, stop the heat from escaping, you know, as well. If you notice, sometimes golfers and other athletes, they will have the brim, but the top of the head is exposed as well. But I'm not sure that would be mandatory, that you would go out there and require that you must wear a hat. Certainly would want to encourage them to, you know, to take into consideration the heat and to wear hats where necessary. Folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. Minister J. Ebanks, Member of Parliament and Parliamentary Secretary, Mr. Isaac Rankin, they are both in the studio with us. We're going to our 8 o'clock news. When we return, we're going to be talking to them. They want to have the phone lines open as long and as much as possible. So get your questions ready. Cue them up. If you don't want to call us, 925-3261, or email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord, at candw.ky. For the Record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Radio Cayman time check now, 8 a.m. This time check brought to you by our friends at Foster's.
All right, class, pay attention. School is back in session, and it's time to get back to school ready with Foster's.
Foster's is embracing school spirit with all the essentials like backpacks, stationery, lunch kits, and more.
And online, treat yourself to our useful back-to-school lunch ideas at livewell.fosters.ky to turn fresh and healthy into full and focused.
And any parents hoping to spend more time at home, there's always fresh delivery from Foster's Go.
Think you got all of that? We'll test you on it later.
Get ready for a great fresh start with Foster's.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver
sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Major upgrades being proposed by the Civil Aviation Authority need closer scrutiny for their BRAC project.
We wanted to recommend an EIA to really focus on ecology and drainage and water quality.
Department of Environment's Lauren Dombowski updated NCC members on the project during their meeting this week. It includes a runway extension to the west, the partial fill-in of ponds to the south, a taxiway and control tower to the north, and on the eastern side, another runway and safety area. However, she has flagged several ecological issues. The Charles Kirkconnell Airport in the BRAC is near Sister Island's rock iguana nesting sites, proposed sea turtle critical habitat, a marine protected area, and ponds that are critical for birds and mangroves. The NCC voted unanimously to support the DOE's recommendation that an EIA be done. That's the sound of a nearly 400-pound sea turtle slowly making her way back to the ocean after she was foiled by a seawall. Earlier this month, the nesting green sea turtle tried to climb over a low cement seawall, but fell off into the sand, turning onto her back in the process. The next morning, a family visiting Grand Cayman found her and managed to get her turned upright so that she could make her way back to sea. If anyone finds a sea turtle in distress, you can call the DOE's hotline 938-NEST. The Department of Environment is asking anyone that's considering to build structures, particularly on coastal areas, reach out to them on emu.doe@gov.ky early in the process to get tips on how to build sustainably while minimizing the impact on Cayman's native wildlife. And the National Heroes Day nomination period is opening for 6 weeks starting September 1st, with the official event scheduled to take place in January 2024 on National Heroes Day. Next year's theme will be celebrating our cultural artists and creatives. Categories are cherished classics, cultural luminaries, and cultural heritage groups. The public is reminded to nominate artists and creatives who have done their part to integrate, promote, preserve, educate, and create awareness of Cayman's culture and heritage. For more information on the nomination process, head to gov.ky. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. The Kremlin says it had no role in the death of the Wagner mercenary boss Yevgeny Prigozhin. Western reports suggest he was assassinated on Moscow's orders, but President Putin's spokesman said such speculation was a complete lie. Russia says it stopped 73 Ukrainian drones from reaching their targets in the past 24 hours, one of the biggest waves of such attacks. It also says it shot down a missile heading towards Moscow. The UN says the war in Sudan is having a devastating impact and could tip the entire region into a humanitarian catastrophe. The UN humanitarian coordinator says hunger, disease and displacement threaten to consume the entire country. The embattled head of Spanish football insists he won't resign over kissing a Spanish player on the lips after her team won the World Cup. Luis Rubiales claimed the kiss had been consensual. Denmark's government is proposing to ban the burning of holy books after a series of desecrations of the Quran caused anger in the Muslim world. The bill wouldn't apply to spoken or written commentary or to cartoons. Election observers from southern African countries have criticised the conduct of the poll in Zimbabwe, where votes are being counted. The regional body, SADC, said voting was peaceful, but some aspects fell short of local laws and its own guidelines. Iran says it's launched exercises to test its electronic warfare capabilities in the face of perceived foreign threats. The drills in an arid part of central Iran feature drones, manned and unmanned fighter aircraft and micro-aerial vehicles. Scientists testing non-plastic drinking straws have found that most brands contain potentially harmful synthetic chemicals. PFAS, which can leach into liquids, were found in the majority of paper and bamboo straws. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Why replace when you can respray? At Granite Express Cayman, we can completely transform your old kitchen cabinets with a fresh kitchen respray for just a fraction of the cost of buying new ones. Big news! Our summer special promo is here. We are offering kitchen countertop specials up to 50 square feet installed for only $1,595 CI for granite and $1,895 for quartz. We can make your dream kitchen come true and at a price to suit all budgets. Call 922-0424 for a free estimate, friendly service, fast installation. Hurry! Limited time only while supplies last. Visit graniteexpresscayman.com.
Through the Rotary Club of Cayman Brac, on behalf of the District Governor David Kirkcaldy, we, Rotary Central, the Rotary Clubs of the Cayman Islands and the Lions Clubs community, join our sister islands, Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, pausing to pay our respects to salute the passing of a citizen of note. This humble, gentle, genteel man of committed determination toward good, this engineer, photographer, Morse code and wireless operator, pioneer in the development of Cayman telecommunications, devout Christian, church elder, entrepreneur, patriarch of Tibbetts Enterprises at Cotton Tree Bay, pillar of Sister Island social and business development, a storyteller, Brac historian, D. Bernard Tibbetts, Mr. Bernard, this man of Caymanite resolve, this giant now rests. Our heartfelt condolences to Miss Vernice, James, Jonathan, Paul, Matthew, the Tibbetts family, and our Sister Islands community. Mr. Bernard, you have left this path much better than you found it. Rest in peace.
Back by popular demand and in celebration of Le Classique's 40-year anniversary is the unforgettable Your Age is Your Discount shoe sales event. That's right, Cayman, it's happening. Your Age is Your Discount on every shoe, bag and wallet for men and women. This Friday and Saturday only, August 25th and 26th, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., Le Classique in the Strand. Your Age is Your Discount shoe sales event. Limited to 50% off, proof of age required. This Friday and Saturday, Le Classique in the Strand. Come, celebrate Le Classique's 40th anniversary and celebrate you with Your Age is Your Discount, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Don't miss the $40 shoe deals. See you there.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first. Good morning, Cayman. Let's take a look at your weather. It's partly cloudy on the outside. Present temperature 82, but it feels like about 94. Winds are out of the east at 5 miles per hour. Relative humidity 89%. Barometric pressure is at 29.83 and falling. Scattered showers across the northwest Caribbean are likely to drift over the Cayman area today, with showers expected mainly in the afternoon. Light winds and seas are also expected for the next few days as the pressure gradient remains weak across the northwest Caribbean. And the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida is issuing advisories on Tropical Storm Franklin. Of course, the storm poses no threat to the Cayman Islands. For further details, visit www.nhc.noaa.gov. Our forecast for today calls for partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells and a 40% chance of the afternoon shower and possible thunder. Temperatures will rise to the low 90s. Winds will be light and variable. Seas will be smooth with wave heights of 2 feet. Then later on this evening, partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells and a 40% chance of showers and possible thunder. Temperatures will fall to the mid-70s. Winds will be light and variable. Seas will be smooth with wave heights of 2 feet. Low tide is coming up at 10:37 this morning. It's going to be high at 6:17 this evening. Sunset at 6:44. And the outlook is for an increase in showers and thunder activity over the weekend as moisture associated with surface trough over the southwest Caribbean drifts north across our area. Flooding of low-lying areas is possible for Saturday and Sunday with relatively higher tides, causing slower drainage of flood waters. Wow. And of course, that, my friends, is your latest weather, brought to you by our good friends at CG Britcay.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you want to go scuba diving on your vacation, don't bedazzle your wetsuit. And you think you look great, but what you don't realize is that you look like a shiny, scaly fish. And it won't take long for a shark to notice you. Next thing you know, you're busting out every karate move you got. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance and get airlifted out to the closest hospital.
Get coverage for emergency evacuations. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Change your thinking, change your life. There's no great success without commitment.
As motivational speaker Tony Robbins said, individuals who succeed have a belief in the power of commitment. If there's a single belief that seems almost inseparable from success, it's that there's no great success without commitment. If you look at successful people in any field, you'll find they're not necessarily the best and the brightest, the fastest and the strongest. You'll find they're the ones with the most commitment.
Change your thinking. Change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
All right, my friends, let's take a look at the traffic situation. Of course, in Georgetown, we do see an influx of traffic along Crew Road, similar along Bobby Thompson Way. Linford Pearson already backed up as well. Halder Avenue, bit of traffic in Northwood Lane heading towards the C&B roundabout. And traffic is flowing smoothly in that area. Of course, getting to the Butterfield roundabouts, usual traffic is expected in that area this time of the morning. And looking at the east-west arterial, amazingly not much traffic in that area, but of course getting to the Red Bay roundabout, you will run into the traffic there, getting to your respective lanes as you either continue on, heading on to the Linford Pearson Crew Road. Those going through South Sound will have some free flow of traffic. And Of course, getting onto Walker's Road, expect some traffic in that area. Similar along traffic going through South Church Street into Seafarers Way. No cruise ships in this morning time, so not much pedestrian movement in the Georgetown area. Looking out from Ritz-Carlton, traffic flowing into the Georgetown area looking good. And of course, most streets in Georgetown taking in the influx of the heavy traffic. Shannon Road looking light at the moment. Edward Street as well, 4th Street. Eastern Avenue, expected usual traffic this time of the morning, with traffic coming off the Godfrey Dixon Way. And of course, Cayman Brack and Little Cayman, light traffic this time of the morning. Buckle up and stay safe. Some roads are wet with a light rainfall this morning time. And expect some rains this weekend, as the weather report says. Your traffic report brought to you by our good friends at Subway.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Homeowners, protecting your family and property is crucial during the season, and you should always assess insurance needs long before a storm makes landfall. Most insurers won't issue new policies or increases when a storm is imminent. Cayman Insurance Center's team of professionals can help owners like you find the most comprehensive coverage and competitive rates. Call the insurance professionals at Cayman Insurance Center 949-4657 or email info@cic.com.ky. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call Cayman Insurance Center's insurance professionals today at 949-4657.
Looking to grow your business? We got this. Yellow Media Group has a proven track record for successfully marketing over 10,000 businesses on the web, expanding our customers' reach and providing measurable results. With the Caribbean's largest team of certified digital consultants, we handle everything from website development to search engine marketing and much more. So don't worry, we got this. For a free consultation, contact Lee Hipkins at 936-1981.
From Saturday, August 26th through Saturday, September 2nd, Tomlinson Furniture is having a massive anniversary sale on everything in store.
Living room and bedroom set, outdoor furniture, dining and coffee tables, office desks and chairs, decor, mattresses, and more. All up to 50% off. See an item you like, save an additional 20% off the lowest sale price for savings up to 50% off store-wide. Register to win a $500 shopping spree with each purchase and receive a free gift with each purchase over $100. Shop and save up to 50% store-wide during Tomlinson Furniture's 48th anniversary sale. Sale ends this Saturday. Visit our showroom on the 1st and 2nd floor of the Tomlinson Building, corner of Hospital and Walker's Road.
Dress for success and demonstrate school pride by learning and following the National Dress Code Policy and the specific dress code for each government school. Under the National Dress Code Policy, boys' hair must be neatly groomed and of natural color. Uniform shirts must be neatly tucked in, undergarments concealed, sneakers or shoes black, and jewelry limited to a wristwatch. Take pride in your stride today. View the complete dress code policy at www.gov.ky/education. This is a message from the Ministry of Education.
For the record, with Orett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning again Minister J. Ebanks and Parliamentary Secretary and Member of Parliament Mr. Isaac Rankin. And before I pass the mic over to them, I should also say that Minister Kenneth Bryan will be joining us shortly as well. But we also want to send out belated birthday greetings to Miss Zelaya Rankin, who is 12 years, or was 12 years old yesterday. As, of course, that was her orientation day back to school as well, Mr. Rankin. But you want to say a big shout out to her and a little bit more as well. You declared interest.
Yes. Good morning, OC, and good morning to the Cayman Islands. Yes, so OC, I want to say yes, a belated happy birthday to my granddaughter Zalea, who was 12 years old yesterday. I know she's going to forgive me because I actually did forget that yesterday was her birthday, but I'll have to make that up to her.
Yes, yes. So, big happy birthday to her as well. So, Minister Ebanks, true to form, you're right back here again this morning as promised. Give us a preview of some of the things that we want to talk about, but I do know that you want to have the phone lines open as much as possible so that people can really dialogue with you, and we want to encourage people to call in early. Don't wait until the last half an hour to call in. You know, if you know someone who wants to call in and you think that they're sleeping in late, wake them up earlier to get them on air as well. So over to you, Minister.
Thank you, OC. Good morning, Grand Cayman. Good morning, Cayman Bright, Little Cayman. OC, as promised on our last time we were on your show, there was so much that we had to talk about, and I know there was a lot of callers, and we couldn't take them all, so definitely we said that we would be returning today, Friday, to continue that dialogue conversation, to just get opportunity to speak with the listening audience, but also to be able to give them an update on a lot of the stuff that we're doing behind the scenes as within our ministries. We'll see. I guess what I'll probably start off with is maybe we'll probably work from east and go west. I guess start it that way, and maybe with what I'll do is I'll since we're in the east, I'll allow my colleague Mr. Rankin to lead the conversation on the eastern side of the island first, because he's well aware of what's happening up there, and he can give us the full update on there, and then I'll work my way down west with him.
Okay.
Thank you, Minister. Well, OC, just want to give my constituents in the Ryder Cayman Islands an update on what we are doing in East End. And while we've had many projects and they've been ongoing, sometimes people can't see it, and sometimes we can't see and touch and feel things. You think there's nothing happening. But suffice it to say, OC, there's a lot going on, especially for the district. One of the programs that we are about to start next month is the replacement of the guardrail. With the road works there over the last few years, it has made the guardrail a bit shorter, and also initially we were thinking of just raising it, but on further inspection realized that pretty much all of the guardrail has to be replaced because of the corrosion from the salt environment, and that is about to start next month. I'm pleased with that. We have the NHDT, National Housing, is going to be constructing 32 more homes in the property behind, just beyond the primary school off John McLean Drive. And the first 5 of those homes will begin construction very shortly, and that's once the utilities and the road works have been completed. Then the first 5 will begin. And again, the aim is to have 32 more homes built there on that property. And that will do well for people in East End and further afield as well in the Cayman Islands.
Certainly, yes.
We have the affordable landlord program, which is ongoing right now. When people pass where the old senior citizen home used to be, they'll see that on either side, that east and west of that, they'll see 2 clearings where the road is going to be constructed as well. The surveying team is out there right now putting down all of the markers for the road and also for the individual lots. And once the markers have all gone in, then the road works will be constructed and the utilities will be put in. The policy is still being developed on how it's going to be given and sold to our Caymanians, because it's a policy where it's going to be sold to Caymanians only. And we do hope that policy will be in place that it would always stay in the hand of Caymanians. And that's something that we are very passionate about, my colleagues and I, when we first, one of the first things they did as we got into office, they supported my efforts to get that piece of property next to the senior citizen home for the construction of the new one.
Mhm.
And in a few months or so, we'll have some good news and updates on the progress in terms of the senior citizen home, which will hopefully, in coordination with Minister Andre, be able to give that news shortly. The primary school have a nursery program in place now. It's called the Northeast program, and it's pretty much temporary because North Side is, and Minister J will speak about that shortly, is going to be having a new primary school constructed, and then that nursery program then move back to that school once that is done. But we'll see, there's lots of stuff going on. One of the things I like to reach out to my community and ask, and why the Cayman Islands, because, you know, people take that Sunday meandering drive to East End to get some fried fish and all that sort of thing.
Yes.
And they've been parking over on the Heritage Field site. Not an issue if they park properly, but it's affecting our boaters and our fishermen.
Mhm, mhm.
So I'm asking and pleading with people to just park in a responsible manner so that the boats can be launched or pulled back up from the water, that it does not affect anybody at all. So it doesn't affect the people who come to eat the fried fish or affect the boaters. So I'm asking people to just be very cognizant of that. NRA has put a sign up there, so they should have notification of where they can and cannot park.
One of our listeners wanted to know whether or not, as far as the homes in East End are concerned, do you have to be a resident of East End? Other than being a Caymanian, do you have to be a resident of East End to qualify for those? Or can you live in another district and you may decide that you want to relocate and as a result of that qualify for those in East End?
Yes, OC, the homes are for Caymanians. While certainly I'm encouraging my East End constituents to apply for those homes.
Mhm.
Anybody who's a Caymanian can apply. And once they meet the criteria, they will be able to get one of those homes.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Are there any other projects going forward in East End, launch ramps, anything of that nature? That we know that the district of East End is, you know, an attractive place to launch, to go fishing. You know, the fishing grounds in that area, even though the East Enders don't really like the people from other districts coming up there and
you have a fish
going after there. And of course, you know, it's pretty attractive to those coming in the small boats as well, you know, at times. But any plans, any works going on there?
Yeah, there's going to be some works going on, and I'll ask Minister to just give an update on that part of the project.
Yeah. Oh, see, we have actually right now we have Coastal Works in right now for the Frank Sound launching ramp. We know that we've been getting a few complaints about how that ramp is it's needing some dredging work to be done around it. A lot of the fishermen are complaining that they're having to back their truck almost directly into the water to get a boat off now. So we have we're requesting a Coastal Works license to actually take care of that problem, and we're actually requesting a Coastal Works license to deal with the one in East End also for their launching ramp. But as we also talked about too, is that in the new budget going forward is that we're going to be building a new dock in East End also at that same location, because we know a lot of the fishermen and my colleague Mr. Rankin has been with me from day one about getting a new dock built there for the fishermen. So we're going through the design phase for that right now. My team is working on the business case for it, so that by next year, when we have the funding in the budget, we can start it.
Mm-hmm. And while we're talking about launch and ramps, of course, the dock in your constituency, that is progressing, you know, quite well. And I must say, and I'm no engineer, but based on what I have seen there, that certainly is an ambitious project. And the whole idea of retaining the other dock that was there, you know, having more access, that is important as well, because I know that area there can be extremely busy, especially on a Sunday morning, when the fishermen are cleaning and selling their fish.
See, I must say, I can tell you that the engineer that designed that dock was well designed. I think if anything happens, the dock will definitely always be there.
Okay.
I don't think that one's going anywhere. That dock has been, I would say, 99% completed. There's just a little fishing table left to be installed there and electricity to be for the lighting to be put on the dock. They have already started the second phase of the work, which actually is removing the older dock. But what we're doing is we're not removing the entire dock. What we're actually doing is just cutting the front section off of the dock, and we're leaving the small hut that was there. And we have started the dredge work to actually just dredge out just in front of the old dock where it used to be, because see, one of the things that we had is the problem is that a few of the larger boats, there was always a little ledge there, kind of a grass bed that was kind of always hard for boaters to get across.
Okay.
Especially during the low tide. So we had to just to dredge out to that little section there to come back in and actually be able to dig out the launching ramp like we're requesting for the other launching ramps. This was the perfect time, though, being that we were out a little bit further, that we could do the launching ramps properly instead of having to come back every year and digging them back over as we were doing before. So the works are going on very well. They're very great. I'm pleased with what's happening there. We should be very shortly starting the volleyball court on the seaside, and there's about 4 cabanas that we'll be building on that seaside also, and the restrooms will be built on the land side, which I'm happy that I would say that I'm hoping that we should be able to start within another month or so. The restrooms, I understand that maybe the contractor has been chosen for that already, so the works are going on really well with that. The basketball court is just about almost finished. We're waiting on lighting and fencing just to be put up around it, and I understand they have all of that is already in play, and we've ordered the hoops for the court also. So I would hope to say that at least I'm keeping my fingers crossed that at least by next month, a lot of this stuff should be up and ready for the basketball court, that the kids can start to use that. I know even the school is very eager to start a new basketball team in Orett, so even them are waiting to be able to use the court. So that I can tell you, I'm already seeing that the court is going to get multiple uses up there. And the kids are happy, because that's one thing that the kids asked me for when I was on the campaign trail, is that they wanted a basketball court. Now they have it.
You have delivered to them.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to take our commercial break. Just before we go, I'll read this one for you. This person says, the roadway in front of the Port Ware Remembrance Day Parade takes place yearly, is in need of work to fit the purpose. It is terrible on the legs of the men and women involved in drills from the uniformed services, and they're asking you, Minister, if you could look into that.
Which road was that, sorry?
In front of the port where the Remembrance Day, the celebration parade takes place, right, where the cenotaph is. I think that would be around the area between Cayman National Bank or where the light is and the port area. I think they closed the road off there, and that's where the parade takes place. So, folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Don't forget, phone lines are open, 1-800-534. Is that okay? The 1-800 number isn't working. 949-6990. And 949-8037. Those are the numbers. And, of course, you can call us through the WhatsApp number 925-3261. Email for the record at candw.ky as well. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
A few drops of blood. That's all we're asking for Step 3 of the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. These will help to measure the national prevalence of raised blood sugar and cholesterol, which will shape our healthcare services, our interventions, our prevention and education programming. Help us shape Cayman's healthcare services. Say yes to Step 3. For more information, contact the STEPS team on 936-4969.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Upgrade your connection with Digicel's all-new postpaid plans. Experience the freedom of endless local calls, more any use data to browse, entertainment data for Netflix, Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok, and endless social data for WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. That's not all. Stay connected when you travel with roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean, and make calls while abroad with more international minutes than ever before. Stay connected on the fastest, most reliable network. Make the switch today. Digicel, better connected.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
It's game time, Subway fans. We're upping our sub game with the all-new Subway Series menu, an all-star lineup of 6 delicious recipes. Just order by name or number and we'll do the rest. Whether you're catching a quick lunch or just need a tasty victory, the Subway Series menu is coming in clutch. Subway Series, easy to order, hard to resist. Try it today, only at Subway. Eat fresh.
Dress for success and demonstrate school pride by learning and following the National Dress Code Policy and the specific dress code for each government school. Under the National Dress Code Policy, makeup, nail polish, and jewelry other than wristwatches are not permitted. Girls' hair must be worn in natural styles and color. Undergarments concealed, skirts knee length, and sneakers or shoes black. Take pride in your stride today. View the complete dress code policy at www.gov.ky/education. This is a message from the Ministry of Education.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me Minister J.E. Banks. We have now been joined by Minister Kenneth Bryan, and also in the studio with us, Parliamentary Secretary and Member of Parliament, Mr. Isaac Rankin. Want to throw the mic over to Minister Bryan and want to say to him, welcome back to For the Record and welcome back home as well.
Thank you so much, OC, and a pleasant Good Friday morning to all of your listeners here at home and abroad. It's a pleasure to be back. Had a little bit of a family vacation and get some rest so I can get back to the people's work. Here with my colleagues this morning to do, as you heard them say before, listen to the public. So we are here and ready to answer any questions that the people have of us.
Okay, excellent. So, gentlemen, we had that question in relation to the okay, I'm getting all this combobulated here now.
It's okay. And I want to remind the public, that there has been some weather indications that it will be a pretty rainy couple of days coming up. So I want you guys to prepare yourselves around your home and your property. Any drainage areas that need to be cleared, go ahead and try to do
as much as you can in a safe way, while obviously NRA and their team is doing the other checks and stuff. But we got to do what we can do in our own individual capacities to make sure that we get through this rainy season, remembering that Cayman is a very flat jurisdiction, so there's only limited amount of things we can do, and the tides have an effect on that. So,
okay, so we had the question about or the comment about the area in front of the port, the road there where Remembrance Day Parade takes place. Then we have another one. This person says the West Bay Road from Dixie seems to be unfinished, and there were supposed to be some roundabouts built to slow down traffic. Previous chair of the NRA said that it would be done last summer. Grateful for an update on that as well.
Thanks, OC. I've just messaged my NRA team to on both of these roads to actually go and take a look at the road in front of the port to see what it is that we need to get done there, and also for an update on this 7 Mile Beach Road going down from Dixie Graveyard. OC, I'm not aware about any roundabouts that were supposed to be built in there, but I do know there were some safety calming measures that we were looking at to put in the center lane going down through West Bay Corridor. And I know Minister Hugh had mentioned that to me sometime in last year, and I know NRA has it on their books to do.
Okay.
The only thing is I know NRA has so many things going on right now, right? But I know they're probably trying to put their efforts into completing some of the roads that they have started, so that by the new year they have a little bit more free time, that are a little bit more time where they can start some new projects. But I've just sent a WhatsApp message to Edward Howard, asking him for an update on both of those to see what we can do.
Next one we have is a person wanted to know what is being done about the beautification of East End. So I guess we can combine that with Minister Brian and your beautification committee as well. So you and Mr. Rankin can he can talk about East End, and you can talk about beautification in general.
All right, well, I would concede to my colleague in this respect, because it is his constituency, and he has my full support as minister in respect to those efforts. I know he does have some plans, and we have some allocations to assist him, so I'll let him lead the charge on that.
Okay.
Thank you, Minister. Just to give an update, yes, I've met with a few of my constituents, members, and we have some plans, but we just want to get back some some more information on costings, and hopefully in another few weeks or so we'll start to see some changes in the beautification of the district. But I know that Minister Brian has the larger responsibility for the Cayman Islands, and through his support we're able to do some of that work in East End.
One of the in a larger picture, as you know, the Beautification Task Force has gone out on a major campaign, an anti-littering campaign, which has obviously an element of beautification. It's not about beautifying, but trying to stop people from making it filthy. It's a serious campaign for us. I want to take this opportunity to highlight the Beautification Task Force Committee, which is headed up by Parliamentary Secretary Ms. Heather Bodden, who's been doing an amazing job. This is a great passion for her. And the chairman, Ms. Teresa Lewis-Pitcairn, and her team on the committee, they're doing, funny enough, we had a meeting last night as they're analyzing some reviews of different pieces of legislation to help with the enforcement arm of anti-littering in the country. Other beautification efforts that will be taken charge will most likely start to happen in the latter part of, or the early part of next year, besides the one in East End, which we should be starting within a reasonable period of time. But beautification is more about the mindset of us as a people. As I've said before, one of my biggest fears and concerns is that our attitude, our cultural behavior and norms and respect for our community is fading. And that's some of the problems that comes with growth. So this anti-littering campaign is about trying to change back the narrative of the cultural behavior of persons. I think it's inherent of us as Caymanians to remember what our cultural norms are. You know, we're very proud people in respect to keeping our places clean. And I'm not trying to dig on any other nationalities at all, but it doesn't seem to be something that has seemed to creep into our society, and I'm confident to say that it's not majority Caymanian behavior. So as persons come to our jurisdiction, and we welcome them to call Cayman home, but we ask them to appreciate our norms and our principles and our approaches to our communities, and that is keeping the place clean. So hopefully it doesn't need taken as a job at any other nationality, but unfortunately this behavior only has come into play in the last 50 years since our development, our growth of our population. I'm proud to say that I'm a generational Caymanian, like all four of us in this room and many of us who are listening, and we've always taken pride in keeping our society, our homes, our properties clean. So those who are here, we ask you to do the same.
Okay, we have a caller on hold, but we have to take the commercial break first. And just before we go to the commercial break, I shared this article a few shows ago, and I'll just mention it again. In 1966, the Trade Winds newspaper had a headline. Their headline was at that point in time, beautification campaign, and it showed a picture of Miss Frances Bawden. And those days, I think they used the oil cans that were used for the asphalt, and the airport runway was being built at that point in time. And the company that was doing that, they painted some of those cans, and they were used as garbage cans. But in that article, it also points out that the Garden Club was involved in the beautification campaign. I believe we still have an active Garden Club in the Cayman Islands, and of course we have the Botanic Park. We have a lot of private entities, the Dart Corporation that are big into landscaping, other landscaping companies. They should all throw their support behind this, and whether or not it's dedicated an hour or whatever, and all get behind this whole beautification thing. Like you said, it's not just about. It's about keeping the islands clean, but it's also, making it look beautiful as well. So we'll address those, but when we return, we'll take the caller first. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
So much happening so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my health care instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777.
A few drops of blood. That's all we're asking for Step 3 of the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. These will help to measure the national prevalence of raised blood sugar and cholesterol, which will shape our healthcare services, our interventions, our prevention and education programming. Help us shape Cayman's healthcare services. Say yes to Step 3. For more information, contact the STEPS team on 936-4969.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Want to learn more about the Regen Environmental Impact Assessment Report? Don't miss the upcoming public consultations where you will have the opportunity to provide feedback on the draft environmental statement and have your questions answered. Join us from 6 to 9 p.m. on Monday, August 28th at the Hartwell Theatre, Tuesday, August 29th at John Gray Memorial Church Hall, or Wednesday, August 30th at Mary Miller Hall. To find out more, visit doe.ky or regen.ky.
For the record, with Orett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orett Connor. continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, just want to remind you that we have in the studio Minister J.E. Banks, Minister Kenneth Bryan, Parliamentary Secretary and Member of Parliament Mr. Isaac Rankin, and we do have a caller on hold, so we're going straight to the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C. and your guest.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, sir.
Good, thanks.
Good morning.
I've got two questions for your guest. What are being done about these landscaping people that are blowing the trash on the road? That's one.
Mm-hmm.
I think they need bringing in a law that hold the landscaping company accountable for that. Second,
You're right about that.
the second one is last Saturday they had a community get together in East End at the beach in Colliers, and the kids wanted to play going fee, but they can't go on the black grass. What are they doing about these kind of things? I know we have to protect the environment, but we also have to meet the needs of our people are access to this country and community. And they're saying that the kids have nothing to do. They can find something to do, whether it's good or bad. So we need to get this black grass removed so when they have function or not even function, people want to go to the beach, they can go there and bathe and have fun in the water. Because all on black grass is sea egg, cotton knife, numbfish, glass bottle, conch shell. Our kids can't bathe in that kind of environment. We need to make it safe for our kids and our older folks that wanted to enjoy the natural resource that we have.
Okay. Caller, thank you very much for that. We'll have our panelists here respond to that. We have another caller. So, Paul, let's grab the other caller, and this way we won't have to have them hold on during the headline news at 9 o'clock. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Nobi.
Hey, Nobi, how are you doing? Recognize the voice.
Morning, Nobi.
Hey, morning. Sorry, morning to the panel as well.
Morning.
Yeah, I'm actually calling from the beautiful district of East End. That's what I call it all the time, and you guys probably know, and everybody else might know that I do these tours to the district, and I really believe in beautification. I keep my property pretty clean, and most of the people around my area keep our area clean, and East End in general is clean. But one of the issues that I have is, first off, let me clarify. Let me just put the point out there. We cannot burn, right? Burning is against the law. Am I correct?
Yeah, there is rules in respect to notification to police, to fire. There's a controlled, measured a way you can do it to a small amount, but ideally it's shunned upon by law.
Well, just to let you know, me personally, I have asthma, and I've been, smoke has been a problem, and I must say my neighbors and everybody have been very good with this now. We have guests. When we have visitors in the island, it's very difficult for people to burn. That's not the reason why I'm saying it. I have an Airbnb at my house. Most of the area where I live right now in East End, which is why I'm calling, because there are a lot of visitors visiting the district of East End now. And the representative for the district should know this because he lives right down the road from me. So he knows this district, this area is getting more people coming around, right? So what do? I traditionally clean my beach. All of the sargassum, seaweed, all my trees and what have you, I clean them. There was a point where previously there was a place for us, a satellite dump for us to put, or, I call it the compost material because we can throw leaves over here and there and what have you. It got out of hand. It seems like it was too much of a mess going there, and people started dumping a lot of stuff. But the issue here is it's very difficult for people from East End to take garbage from East End all the way to the dump in Georgetown. I am fortunate that I can afford, after being insulted by one of the, a person that I brought this to the attention, I went and got a landscaper. I personally take it on my truck all the way downtown to the dump, and my landscapers take it to the dump, right? It's not a cheap task, right? And at the end of the day, we have to be considerate to the fact that if we want to keep East End clean, we have to have a way for us to, or any part of the island, I want to talk about East End now, we have to have a way for us to dump our garbage or these excessive things in a good way. Now, having said that, this is the worst I've ever seen East End in my life, and since I've been doing my tours. Everywhere on Queens Highway, I can show you. There's dumps, there's refrigerators, there's all kind of things. Inland, places that people don't see, that I go with people, and it embarrasses me. There's dump, there's garbage along the side of the road. So I want to ask, I noticed that the representative didn't mention anything about this, and he knows that I was the first person to mention this to him when he got elected, because the previous representative, Ard McLean, he had something in place. I'm not saying he was perfect, but he had something in place. Why has that been taken out of place? Is there something being done? Because that should be on your number one list of things, cleaning this district. Other than that, beautification. I understand, the tourism minister, you've been doing a great job. I've been following you. I like what you're doing, trying to push the island. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have opened up. And thank you for that. But I must say to you, right, the district of East End needs to be beautified. You guys are doing something in Peace Bay now. There's going to be a little place that they're fixing there. We're also fixing something on West Bay Road. They've been trying to put restroom facilities down at the Governor's Beach. My whole thing is, bro, you guys got to understand, people want to see what East End, the rural districts, have. But we need to beautify it. Beautification don't mean building a high-rise building. The district, I've done East End Surf Challenge and jet ski race for 15 years. Count that in. 15. No one has ever done an event single-handedly with some support from the government at points later down. And it's been a great event. People still want me to do it. But the reality of it is the Heritage Field is exactly the same. I can show you pictures. Exactly the same. And it's one of the most beautiful locations in Grand Cayman. So anyway, guys, I don't want to hold you guys up. You got a lot of things to talk about. It seems like some good projects. But I'm just asking, consider the district of East End. Consider beautifying it. Right? This is where I live. I don't just rent here. And I don't just come here for the weekend. I live here. And I have a concern with the district. And I'm not, everybody's saying, oh, this and that about me doing all these things. Let me tell you something, right? You know the reason why I did my bicycle tours? Because no one else is doing a local product in this district. And me as a Caymanian took it upon myself because, again, someone said to me, what are you doing about the tourism?
Caller, have about 30 seconds to go before we have to go to our news. Go ahead.
I started going out there on my bicycle, showing people the district of East End, and it has worked out. And, guys, all I'm saying, guys, let's help the East End district. I don't know how the budgeting is. Let's help the East End district get something in the tourism product and beautify the central areas that people come to. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller, for that as well. Folks, we've reached the top of the hour. Headline news. When we return, we will have our panelists respond to the callers and more to discuss, more to talk about. So don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Continuing the Caymanian tradition. Let Cora keep my ground so clean. The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
There's the news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority and the Ministry of Tourism and Transport.
The National Conservation Council determines that an environmental impact assessment isn't needed for the Civil Aviation Authority's general private aviation terminal planned for Owen Roberts International Airport. They did recommend that the department restore 1.5 acres in the mangrove buffer zone that had been previously disturbed to offset plans to rip out 3 acres of mangroves for the proposed terminal. Donald Trump has surrendered in Georgia on charges of plotting to overturn the state's 2020 election results in an arrest that saw the first ever mugshot of a former U.S. president. Mr. Trump had to pay a bail bond of $200,000 to be released from the Atlanta jail where he awaits trial. Afterward, he described the case as a, quote, travesty of justice. This is his 4th arrest in 5 months in a criminal case. And Maui County is suing energy firm Hawaiian Electric, saying it failed to turn off electrical equipment before wildfires started on the island. If power lines had been switched off during, quote, exceptionally high winds and dry conditions, the destruction could have been avoided. The fire killed 115 people and more than 1,000 people are still missing. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority and the Ministry of Tourism and Transport.
It's one of the best moments of your life when you welcome your baby into the world. The HSA's Experienced Women's Health and Maternity team provides the highest quality of care throughout your pregnancy and delivery. As a JCI accredited hospital, we are the leader in maternal care, safely delivering over 700 babies annually. Visit hsa.ky for more information. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
I am Teresa Pitcairn, the chairperson of the Cayman Islands Beautification Task Force. Derelict vehicles are not only unsightly, they also lower the quality of life in our neighborhoods and pose serious public health and safety risk. To report a derelict vehicle, please call the Department of Environmental Health on 949-6696.
Be a part of the solution, not the pollution. Littering is a crime punishable by a $500 fine or 6 months in prison. Brought to you by the Beautification Task Force and Ministry of Tourism and Ports.
For the record with Orett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record with Orett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Gentlemen, I want to give you an opportunity to respond to both callers that we had before. Go right ahead.
Thank you, OC. And to the first caller, I do agree with him that the landscaping companies have been contributing to the garbage that we see on the road. I have personally been aware of them dumping illegally, and I've called and reported them to the police. And I will continue to do that as long as I see it or if anyone says it to me. And the first caller's second point was in regards to the Collier's Public Beach. As I've indicated and updated in my last meeting, a Coastal Works application has been submitted for that beach, and it's in now being processed, and we are hoping that in very short order we'll get back information so that we can proceed on doing that, because it is one of the things that I spoke about and I've been pursuing even before I was elected, in terms of how do we do that and do it the right way. OC. The second caller, he's right. There has been a change in terms of the debris that he's seen on the road, and again, a lot of that's caused. Some of that is caused by the landscaping companies, and Minister Bryan also spoke about some of the culture we have with us, because as Caymanians, we were never like that. So we need to ask our people to continue to just to keep our areas clean. You know, they say cleanliness is next to godliness, and it's a God-fearing society. We must do more to do that for that. But to address the second caller, said there was a satellite site in East End. That site was located between the Civic Center and the Donovan Rankin playing field. And just prior to the election, the site was supposed to be used for landscaping debris. It became more than that. It came to the point that the director wanted to shut it down, and on my insistence, I asked him not to.
That's the DEH director?
Yes, sir, the DEH director wanted to shut the site down right after the election. I asked him not to, get it cleaned up, and I would have a public meeting and ask people to, you know. I did have the public meeting. I don't remember if I saw the caller at that public meeting, But certainly I addressed it then, and I said, if we can't keep it clean, the director was going to shut it down. And he did, because people then started dumping carcasses from cows, the innards from cows and stuff like that, when it was only supposed to be for landscaping debris. And then as time has progressed, I've been speaking to the DEH director and even brought him to the district on several occasions to tour the district to let him see the problems that we're experiencing. And he also supports the idea of another properly managed and manned satellite operation out in the Eastern District. And that is what we're pursuing at the moment now, to try and find a site where we could do that operation.
OC, I just wanted to just piggyback on what he was, my colleague was talking about with this satellite dump, or another satellite location for us to manage debris. But I know Mr. Rankin has been adamant about that, right? He has been out, he has been talking about it a long time. He has been trying to find a suitable location that works for DH to be able to create another holding facility. One of the problems is that you just can't just put one in anywhere. You got to make sure that it's not in a residential area, who you're putting it next to. There's a lot of efforts that goes into it. And we're also looking at one for North Side also at the same time. These locations will be just small locations that the DH can come in with their grab trucks to be able to pick back up the stuff. So, because I also are having the same problems where people are dumping debris in the, what we call as our bay roads that lead towards the water. So we want to be able to clean it, and a lot of it is mostly coming from the landscapers that are just stopping and dumping these things off because they don't want to carry everything back to Georgetown. So yes, there is ongoing talks about getting two different satellite locations, one's in Eastern and one in North Side, to be able to mitigate this risk so that we don't have this happening no more. Because trust me, one thing I love is I'm very proud of is when I drive through North Side, I don't see garbage on the side of the road or just anything being built up. That is one thing I've always loved. Beautification has been built into all of us, I think, right, as a Caymanian. So nobody wants to see that.
Okay.
So we all need to work together to make sure that. And I know my colleague has also been working on along to get that coastal work matter sorted out for the dredging of that, or some people don't like me to use the word dredging, but maybe the digging out of a new area for the Eastern people to be able to utilize the beach up there in Colliers a lot more. It's probably one of the most beautiful beaches that I could, probably next to 7 Mile Beach, I'm telling you. I was there a few months ago. Was invited there for a social event, and I just admired how beautiful that beach was out there. And I got the opportunity to actually see at the same time what the gentleman that was talking, the first caller, mentioned about all of the black grass, because it really needs, the kids then were just jumping off of the dock and having a good time, but they were all in the black grass and they were all complaining about getting itchy and stuff. And
do we know how wide is that? Because is it possible that you can still preserve some of that grass, because we know the advantages of having the grass there, in terms.
Yeah, I don't think from when I was up there, I don't think the Easterners want the whole grass bed gone. I think they just want
an area,
a suitable area that they can actually utilize with white bottom sand.
And I've also OC, just as an update, I visited that location and also the beach in front of the United Church with DOE staff members, and I believe they're supportive of our efforts to enhance our beaches in that way, to give our people an opportunity to have an area they can swim in. They don't have to go outside of the district for that.
Right.
I'm very supportive of that, because growing up there was a place in front of the United Church near there we call Warren's White Hole. That was our swimming area. Now that's all grown up as well.
We'll see if I can just add on the component of the garbage that the caller was talking about and my colleague. The discussion about the landscapers and their behaviors, not only in East End but across the country, has come up as a point of discussion with the Beautification Task Force up to last night. And I've asked the committee to organize a meeting with all the landscaping companies on island, that they can send a representative, hopefully the owner of the companies, that we can have a little chat about what the rules and what the law says as a reminder, and also offer them best practices on how they're handling this, and ask DEH to come along as we have this discussion with them, because I agree with you. There's a behavior that's happening with the landscapers, and what we need to do is try to work with the companies to make it more efficient and easier for them. So people take the path of easiest resistance. So is it the fact that they're trying not to have to drive and waste gas to get to the dump? What can we do to assist and make it easier, not only for landscaping companies because they're making money, but also for residents and what they're doing? I think one of the major problems that may have contributed to the lack of control of what happened in East End before and why it had to be shut down was maybe we need to pay for somebody to be there. East Ender can man that. That's a job for an East Ender to do, that they can open the gate, put it in an enclosed area. Obviously, like we said, in a appropriate location where it's not close to residential, but it's easy access by way of roadway, so they don't have to drive so far away. But also have it managed where the reason why I think that would have gone out of control, and I don't know anything about it, but I'm assuming it's because nobody was there to say, okay, you can't drop this, but you can drop that, and if you drop in both things, put this part over here and that part over there. So DH later on, when they do it once a month or whenever they do it, it's easy for them to take away. So maybe you just need to tweak things a little bit to make it more efficient, and also to work with the landscapers, even though some people may say, well, boy, they're the problem. But you have to work with the people who are creating the problem as well to help resolve this problem. So with the Beautification Task Force role, we're going to sit and talk with them and say, what can we do to help you? But also remember what the rules are on possible bad habits that may be incurred because of lack of knowledge of understanding, and let them know what the law says and that it can be penalized. So we're going to go through that, and hopefully that would help not only in East End, but across the country.
Okay. We have one caller. We're going to try to grab that caller before we go to our next commercial break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC.
Good morning.
On the panel.
Good morning, sir.
It's me again. I guess I'm calling so frequently people can think I can run for politics.
Are you?
Well, you know, I've not considered it. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yes, gentlemen, thank you very much. This is, as the Minister of Tourism has said, an island-wide problem with the landscapers and dumping. And if I could cast my mind back to when I was deputy chair of the cultural foundation, with that hat on, and even further back, when I was a young man, and Isaac would know, I was in Sweden for several months on a project, the convent, and we met a Dominican national who had been up there for years. And of course, as Caribbean people, we bonded together, and he showed us the ropes, so to speak. One of the things that I took away from that experience, and this is how other societies, I would say, use it as an example, is he could not work in Sweden until he had went to a proper class and learned to speak proper Swedish. Now, if we take this back to our cultural problem, our immigration problem, our, if you like, our traditions here, I've mentioned it to one or two people in the past, this idea. We just bring people into the country, whether it's being a work permit or whatever, and just throw them into our society and expect them to assimilate. We need to have a proper course with all the input from the different agencies as to the norms and expectations that people should have. Well, what we expect here in Cayman and how people should behave when they come to the Cayman Islands. We can't just expect them to learn by osmosis, because the people they are often bonded with and learning these behaviors or bad habits from are the very people who don't know any better themselves.
So should we make the employers or prospective employers responsible for sensitizing them to this, or should that fall on the government? If it falls on the government, we may have to tack a little bit more onto that work permit fee.
Well, regardless of how it's funded, and we have the Minister of Tourism here. We're always hearing complaints that they're not reaching generational Caymanians in the various industries, etc., etc. But it's time, if we're going to attack and preserve this thing called Caymanians, that we know those of us who are generational, like most of us here, I think all of us on the panel, and yourself, certainly, Mr. Sophie, there has to be government intervention now. And I think there are bits and pieces of it, like the National Trust has these tours and whatnot, but it's all voluntary. People should be immersed properly. That is my view.
Caller, I want to, sorry to interrupt you, but I think you're wrapping up there. But before you go offline, I want to say I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think your sentiment is something that has been expressed by many people in our community over time in one way, shape, or form. And I'll just tell you what, ideally, I think we need to do. But we're going to obviously have to have a fuller discussion as a government. But at the stage we're at and the struggles that we're having with people coming in, so many different nationalities, different cultures and behaviors and everything else, I'm to the point where I would say, listen, we can do a 1-hour video of Cayman norms, expectations, behaviors, things that are appreciated and not appreciated in the Cayman Islands, and force you to watch that 1-hour video before you start working in the Cayman Islands. Maybe within your first 3 days of being in the country, you're obligated to sit, whether it's within the immigration department, wherever, and watch this, as in tick it off as you have done so. And we can highlight the top 50 things of expectations within the country and take it that serious so people know. So listen, not like you don't know. You're in Cayman, this is our expectations, this is how we work. We don't eat fries because fries are feed other fish. You can't go and, I'm telling you serious, because our fries that help fish feed our reef fish are being used and eaten up with I don't even want to go down that road. But anyway, my point is, I agree with you that we have to take the bull by the horns. But obviously, there is different strategies we can use to educate those who come to visit, those who come to live, those who become a part of our family. As to say, I think you're here to be a part of it, not to change it. And this is what it is in order for you not to change it. Because if you're coming and you're changing and you're doing something totally different than what we do, then you're here to change it, not here to be a part of it.
And it shouldn't be voluntary. It should be mandated as well. Caller, I want to thank you very much for that suggestion. A little bit past our commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Are you feeling sick but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough, and sore throat to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Stop kicking that old washer or dryer and stressing out. Brand Source Home Gallery is having an August laundry sale. Save up to 15% on all brands. That's right, save up to 15% on GE, Samsung, LG, Beko, Frigidaire, Electrolux, and even heavy-duty commercial washers and dryers, both gas and electric. Shop Brand Source Home Gallery in August and find the island's largest selection of washers and dryers and save during the August laundry sale. Visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
The Department of Lands and Survey is pleased to invite the community to their Customer Appreciation Day on Thursday, the 31st of August from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Government Administration Building on Elgin Avenue. There will be refreshments, prize giveaways, and demonstrations. The Lands and Survey Customer Appreciation Day, Thursday, the 31st of August from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Government Administration Building.
For the record, with Orett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Minister J. Ebanks, Minister Kenneth Bryan, Parliamentary Secretary and Member of Parliament, Mr. Isaac Rankin. Sorry, Mr. Isaac Rankin. We have two callers. Before we go to the caller, I just want to, throw a few cents in here and suggestions made by some of our listeners as well in relation to cultural sensitivity, environmental, cultural sensitivity that has to be observed by those persons who want to come and work amongst us and live amongst us as well. And there is a strong feeling that sensitization should be mandated as opposed to being voluntary. They also see it as an opportunity for Caymanian businesses. If government cannot or does not wish to involve themselves in it to the extent that they identify a particular ministry or a particular department to provide the service of that sensitization through lectures, courses, or whatever, then Caymanian entities, good idea for Cayman, a young Caymanian entrepreneur to set up a training class for that. A certificate is issued at the end of the day to say that this person successfully completed, not just sitting down in a classroom and listening, successfully completed that sensitization course. You issue a certificate. It may be difficult to administer, to say, well, before you get a work permit, you have to do that. But certainly on a temporary work permit, if your intentions are, or your employer's intention is to apply for a full permit, that you have to go through that certification before you will be granted an annual work permit. Now, some people may see that as being onerous, but how in the world do we protect our culture, protect our environment, if we don't take extreme steps to address an issue that involves our existence?
Yeah, it's degrading of who we are. And I know we got two callers, but I can quickly say this without it becoming the legal paperwork and all that and making it mandatory. If somebody was to, like you said, go private sector, create this, desensitization certificate, and an employer can say to the board who's applying for a work permit, say, board, maybe you might see us in good favor because we've already been proactive and we've done this. It was merely $50 to do the course, but you can know that the people that we are hiring, we want them to appreciate that. And I'm almost certain that a board would see that as a plus and be more in favor to approve your work permit than those who haven't done it. So you can start the narrative from early, because I think
so the carrot rather than the stick.
Yeah, exactly. So some employers be like, I'd do anything to get more favor with the work permit approval process.
Okay. Let's grab the callers. Two callers on hold. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Connor, and good morning, panel.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I wanted to touch on a few topics. I was hoping the Minister for Bordentown East would have been on this morning because there is a huge pile of garbage and steel remnants right at the corner there of Mostyn's service station. It's a huge eyesore, and I would like Mr. Seymour to address that. That is a very publicly traveled road, and Bordentown hasn't been doing too bad in terms of beautification and cleaning up. I have had the opportunity to travel through to Northside and East End this past week, and those districts are looking very, very well also, especially on the main travel roads. I have met I met three persons on Tuesday night, I think it was, who are visitors here to the island up at Orett Tortuga, and one couple, she had been a visitor numerous times as a child and hadn't been to the island for 20 years, and had recently returned with her family, including her children and husband. And she was surprised at the way that the islands have changed, but she was also impressed with how clean the island is. And she was her and her husband were very vocal about that. And she also expressed the appreciation for the unchanged scope of the eastern districts, especially East End, because it gave her and her family a sense of serenity in order to, for when she's traveled into Georgetown or West Bay and seen the immense development there, and then have to come back to the eastern districts and experience that serenity and peace and calm and detachment from the other areas of Grand Cayman that's developing. One thing I want to say is that I'm strongly of the opinion that legislation needs to change in regards to littering, and the fines, the penalties really need to be increased. If we can increase the fines to feed chickens and cats overnight almost, I don't see why it's so hard to increase the penalties against littering, because it is a disgrace. I have seen it one too many times. One area that I am very passionate about, I am a Georgetowner. I grew up in central Georgetown. I grew up in Georgetown North. I grew up in Georgetown East. I grew up in Georgetown West, and all of the districts in Georgetown I grew up in. But I'm very passionate about those main public roads of Shedden Road and Eastern Avenue particularly. And it's utterly deplorable that we have people. I've seen it. I have videos. I've stood up and watched people litter there at the bus stop, which is a safety hazard right where that bus stop is, if I may say so. But I've seen persons. I won't get into race or culture or anything like that. But I've seen persons sitting there waiting for the buses, and they're not Caymanians, with the empty bins sitting there. I've stood up and watched them. I've videoed them, and they drink their drinks, they drink their beer, and they put them right down there where they're sitting on that bench in the bus stop. I've addressed Rotary Central about this. I've said so to the Beautification Task Force. We need to ensure these people, everyone in the Cayman Islands, whether visitors, work permit holders, residents, whoever, especially on the main public roads, needs to understand the Cayman Islands is very small geographically, and this is supposed to be, if not the area, the nation of the Caribbean or the West Indies of our jurisdiction, that when you come to the Cayman Islands, you can say that is the cleanest place I've ever visited, the cleanest place I've ever worked, the cleanest place I've ever lived. And it's not a hard thing to do. I mean, dumpsters are everywhere now, and it's not a hard thing for people to understand. And I do agree we need to implement some type of system where people can understand, listen, you need to demonstrate that you can walk to a garbage can and dump your garbage in there, and it don't be a problem for you. The other suggestion I have...
Very quick, caller. We have to go to a commercial break, so I'm going to ask you to make the last one quick for us, please.
Right, yes. I was just going to wrap it up. The other suggestion I had, because when I was overseas, they had a valet service, so you kept your garbage inside your house, and at certain times when the larger trucks didn't come to collect the garbage, you would put your garbage outside at a certain day, and a smaller truck, a small personal contracted company would come around to collect that garbage, and they could either dispose it at the large trash can at the back of the property, or take it to the dumpster, or the tenants could do that, or the businesses could do that. That is something we might want to consider for, I say, for our young Caymanians to potentially apply for business license and obtain trucks and offer that service. This should be a category of businesses that is only strictly reserved for Caymanians, which is what I feel landscaping business should only be reserved for Caymanians also, but that's just my opinion. And these business owners can take their trucks and go around and contract with businesses or residential properties to collect their garbages on days when the commercial government trash collectors are not coming around and dispose at the dumps, or, as you guys were suggesting, larger compartments in each district. So that's just my 2 cents there, and I'll leave you guys with that.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. We do have another caller still on hold, but we have to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Stop kicking that old washer or dryer and stressing out. Brand Source Home Gallery is having an August laundry sale. Save up to 15% on all brands. That's right, save up to 15% on GE, Samsung, LG, Beko, Frigidaire, Electrolux, and even heavy-duty commercial washers and dryers, both gas and electric. Shop Brand Source Home Gallery in August and find the island's largest selection of washers and dryers and save during the August laundry sale. Visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
The Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency wants your feedback on the updated National Energy Policy. The updated policy proposes new national targets for renewable energy, electric vehicles, and greenhouse gas emissions. Watch a virtual town hall and download the draft policy at gov.ky/national energy policy and send us your feedback by the 31st of August. You can take our survey online or email your feedback to energy@gov.ky. Log on to gov.ky/national energy policy to learn more.
For the record, with Orett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, Member of Parliament and Parliamentary Secretary, Mr. Isaac Rankin, Minister Kenneth Bryan, Minister J.E. Banks. One caller before we go to the caller that this person wrote, and we can answer it after we deal with the caller. Can the members of Parliament, ministers and members of Parliament indicate when the District Council section of the Constitution will be enacted so that it may be a legal requirement? And also, can the ICTA recent fine of $400,000 levied on Flow be passed into onto the users that paid the extra $4 per month for the last 4 years? So that's the question there. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, and good morning to your honorable panel there.
Good morning. Good morning, Lord Graham.
Yeah, the last caller made some good points. Very long-winded, but you know, we all know where she got that from. Competing with certain people, you know. But that's another.
No comment from me.
touching on what Minister Bryan was touching on something, and he hold his tongue by saying he don't want to go down that road. I don't think that you should do that. I think you should just call it the way it is, put it out there, make them know we're aware, and it got to be stopped. Anything that is being implemented or done in the Cayman Islands has to be done in the best interest of the Caymanians and Cayman people, Cayman and Caymanian people. So you all should not be afraid to implement or say anything that would be beneficial for Cayman. I just don't have I have a lot of topics I want to talk about, but I just want to big up the two ministers by saying I think each district should have a J. Ebanks and a Kenneth Bryan in it. You are one of the only two that I've seen that are coming on the radio, saying what you want to do, and actually putting it into action. Me and my good friend there, O.C. and Alan Moore, went to Northside some time back, and there were about 10 excavators out there, out beside the water, digging and fixing, and a swamp on the other side of the road was transformed, must be in a week time, make it very beautifully. Now I understand there are volleyball courts going in there, basketball courts, a whole amusement park. That was swamp, and in no time it was transformed into what it is now. And on the other side of the road where environment got tell us that we can't dig out a little bit of black grass because turtle be eating it. And a turtle that come that close to shore, he ain't gonna be eating no black grass. I can tell you that right now. Okay, so many years ago, our people in East End dig out large areas of black grass so that the people could swim. We have to go back to that because we have beautiful beach like Mr. Banks up in East End, but you cannot go in the water. You cannot enjoy the water, just sit on the beach. So I hope that the member from East End are pushing real hard because me personal, who have not thought about even running, went to environment with Mr. Bella Adam many years ago, and they too gave me permission to dig a certain area in East End, 100 by 100 at first, then another 100 by 100, and then another 100, I think it was 400 by 100. That would be in front of the church that he mentioned. So all I had to do was go and get a coastal license, but I didn't want to embarrass no elected member or pass it on to them, but nothing had been done yet. So we need to get that all sorted out. So you guys have a good day.
Thank you very much, Colin.
Thank you.
Mike is yours.
If I could, because I just want to, I think the minister would talk about the whole flow thing. That's not my area. But I want to respond to the previous caller and thank the recent one, Lord Graham, for his call and his continued support for us as members, all of us in the room. We're trying our best to stay busy, but at the same time communicate. The previous caller talked about fees for violations in respect to littering and so forth. I want to say that just last night that we had a meeting with the Beautification Task Force, and they are going to be making recommendations to the Minister for Department of Environmental Health to increase the fee from $500, and the discussions are now to recommend $10,000 fine for littering, because we have to take this thing seriously, and I support them fully. So this is probably the first time the minister going to hear it, because we had a meeting last night. Ms. Heather Bodden is leading that charge, and I support her fully. In respect to the cleanliness, I want to say that the Minister, the Honourable Sabrina Turner, is working deeply with her ministry to try to help and do as much as she can within the financial constraints that she does have for the Department of Environmental Health and DEH, and the crews and the equipment and the processes, the policies, as well as legislation that is currently there. I know she's working hard to try to reshape that and support the director on ways to attack this changing culture of dumping. Obviously, I have a part to play with that with the Beautification Task Force, and they're the ones who are driving the initiatives of where the change need to be. and she's doing a lot of work behind the scenes. I think the country will be quite happy with her as minister when she starts to initiate some of the changes that she hopes to do. I want to also address one point about the district councils. I think was text by somebody, and whoever the author is, thank you so much. I agree with the caller that there seems to be some ambiguity in respect to where we're at with district councils. And I can only ask that we allow the Honourable Premier to make a statement in House as to where we are publicly, because he's done so already on a different media house. But bottom line is that the current legislation as is not accepted by all members of Parliament because of the interpretation of when it was written, and then we went to single member constituency. Districts, are they considered districts as to constituencies?
But isn't that sort of moot? That's something that we can get around that quite easily.
I agree with you, and I'll just want to say that the point is whatever it is, the interpretation is, let's agree with it as a parliament as a whole. And initiate it, because the truth of the matter is, regardless of what the legal foundation is, a council to do things within a constituency or a district, as the law says, is a group of people who have been appointed by somebody, a body or an individual, to go out and take action on certain things within any constituency. And the truth is, every elected member has their own council, whether it's been implemented according to law or not. They have. It's the nature of the beach of politics. Like, say, for instance, I have my own committee. Now, whether there is no, to be honest with you, there's no district councils that has been legally formulated, because you have to be appointed through cabinet. So with this viewpoint that there's some district councils and there's some not is mute. I think that every elected member has a group of people that will go out and find out what's happening in their constituency and report back to them and advise them as per what the law says, a district advisory council. So I think the public just wants full clarity in respect to what, outside of the appointment to give you information and knowledge about what to do in the constituency, what other functions can it have? Can it be funded? Do they have any? Do they have to be elected to be there or appointed? And if they're appointed, who are they appointed by? Is it majority government? Is it some members of the opposition? Does it get political?
I'm going to interrupt you there for a second, just to say that what people's suspicions are in relation to this is that they believe, and some members of Parliament, either former or current, may have articulated it, not publicly, but otherwise. And the feeling of the public is that members of Parliament, because they are elected, they don't want any other elected or semi-elected body telling them what to answer to at the end of the day. But when we talk about all of the issues that we are discussing around this table and otherwise that you as elected members have to deal with, I have recognized so many of them that could be addressed by advisory district councils and could be actioned upon by them as well.
Yeah. And the point is, OC, and just to, in the interest of time, wrap up, the truth is we have to state what the position is. The country needs clarity on this, and I agree with that, even though I think I'm functioning with my committee in the same capacity, but it's in our constitution. We have to rectify that, and I know it's something that the Premier intends to address in the upcoming budget session, as well as our next sitting in Parliament. So I'll leave it to him. But what we need to do as a whole Parliament is come together and agree to that, because you want a full buy-in. You just don't want it to be dictated to by this administration. You want it to make the test of time over the next couple of years.
We're going to take our last commercial break. Minister J. Ebanks, when we return, I too am very curious about that $400,000, whether or not that should be redistributed to the persons, because in other jurisdictions that's what is done. When normally if you win a court case against the company and their fine. I'm not sure whether or not the ICTA has any flexibility in determining where those fines go at the end of the day. But I'm curious as well. Folks, we're going to take our last commercial break. Paul, I think we're going to close the phone lines off because we do have 3 panelists here. We want to give all of them an opportunity for some closing comments as well. So, folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Ready for more fun, more data, and endless connections? Digicel's all-new postpaid plans got you covered. Get more entertainment data for Netflix, Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok. Endless social data for WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. And more international minutes than ever before. Stay connected on the fastest, most reliable network in Cayman. Make the switch today. Digicel. Better connected.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Hey, we got to have love now.
Friends of Ja Mitch come out to support a special live music fundraiser at the Hartwell Theatre, Saturday, September 2nd from 7 to 11 p.m. Free admission for all, but donations welcome to support the recovery efforts for one of Cayman's legacy musicians, Ja Mitch. Performances by Swanky, 5th Division, Heat, Sugar Daddy, and the J.R. Douglas Band. Proudly sponsored by the Caymanian Times, Young Blood Productions, CNCF, Love Culture, Reflections, and Radio Cayman. The Friends of Ja Mitch live music fundraiser at the Hartwell Theatre. Free admission Saturday, September 2nd from 7 to 11 p.m.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
For the record, with Orett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning. We have closed off the phone lines as well. I'll just share one more message that we suggestion that we received from one of our listeners. The person says about Caymanian orientation. They say that in Canada there are immigration institutions sponsored by government to teach about culture and the country in general. This is more effective than an English test. So I just wanted to share that with you. Gentlemen, mic is yours. You can decide the order that you want to go in terms of your closing comments and anything else that you want to discuss as well.
Thank you. We'll see. Just want to go back to the one call or the one
sure.
person that messaged in about the flow. We'll see. I've just passed on that concern to off reg, so I'll wait to see what they get back so that and hopefully maybe I'll get them to maybe issue a statement or something on that matter later on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, there's so much that we had to talk about, but boy, beautification really took over the whole show. I mean, everybody, but that shows the concerns that we have in this country when it comes about beautification, how passionate we are about beautification. And I must say I'm happy that the Minister and Parliamentary Secretary, Ms. Heather Bodden, which I know Ms. Heather has taken that very seriously, and I know that is dear to her heart, right? Beautification, and the board that he has put together are all champions of beautification, and they want to see this country as clean as we can keep it and as beautified as we can keep it. And I know with Ms. Heather there, definitely that's one thing that board would always continue to push for, because no matter what we talk about in caucus, Ms. Heather always makes sure that beautification is at the front line of that all the time. So yes,
and her dad was passionate about that as well, and donated a lot of his time, his equipment as well to assist in that. And another person, Mr. George Seymour, he was another one as well that was involved in beautifying the Cayman Islands.
Yes, sir. Yeah, well, see, so I mean, there is so much more to talk about when it comes to the housing initiative. As I said on the first part of your show this week gone, but we have the 19 homes that are being built in West Bay right now that are moving very good, and we're getting ready to start or doing infrastructure to do another 32 in East End. As my colleague mentioned, the first 5 should be starting very shortly. As soon as the infrastructure has passed those 5 lots, we're going to be ready to go. We got planning permission to start the subdivision in Apple Blossom, which is 50 homes that we're getting ready there. We have 45, I think there is, in Northside that we have planning permission for there, and we have 16 that is almost up to belting in Northside. And we're getting another 16 more is getting ready to, should be starting within another week or 2 there. So housing is moving. We got about 7 right now, I think, going on your Build on Your Own program. So that is actually moving very well also. We have a few more applications in planning right now. Matter of fact, I think there's close to 10 applications in planning waiting to come out for planning permission to be able to build on your own lot also. So housing is moving in the right direction. We have identified a few lots that are throughout the whole island. Matter of fact, I think there's 24 lots in total that I've looked at with the Lands and Survey team. Small little lots, 0.2, 0.4 of an acre, that we think that we could actually give to National Housing Development to be able to build homes, multiple homes throughout the whole island. So there's, these lots stretch from West Bay straight to East End, Newlands, Bordentown, Georgetown. So it gives us the opportunity to build homes not just in these one locations that we have identified as housing sites, but also multiple homes throughout Newlands. So I'm hoping that my colleagues, when that paper comes to caucus shortly, that my colleagues will have full support on that, to be able to transfer those land properties over, and that will give us the opportunity to build some homes, get some homes going right now in central Georgetown, and a lot more going in West Bay. And the last time we talked about also one of the big things for the farmers is that they all been waiting on this land lease policy. And I must say, I'm happy to say that has been completed. And we also talked about at the end of the month getting Lands and Survey up at the farmland in East End to start to put in the road in there. We've got permission to go ahead and start the road works, so we're ready to go. We have the financing already set in place to be able to put these the infrastructure and these farm roads in. So I'm happy to say, after 20 odd years of farmers complaining about not having access to farmland, we are pushing into that farmland in East End now and be able to lease those lots back out to farmers throughout the country. I must say that I'm also happy to let the North Side farmers know that we are working on engaging and putting in that Hotland Farm Road. So we're working with the the national or the Department of the Environment have asked us along with the NCC that we had to do an EIA on that farm road, and I must say that has those works have started to engage and get going towards that, so that we can move forward of getting this farm road done in this country. Another road that's been talked about for several years, to allow farmers to get access to their land where they used to farm, where before was at one time they could walk all the way. They had to walk down there with a donkey, but now those days are gone. So they don't have the access to get there anymore. So they're needing a road now to be able to get a vehicle down to there to be able to get to it. But also the days of how they used to farm is gone compared to what they do now. So I must say I'm happy that works is actually moving on very well. We'll see. One thing I also want to talk about is that I thank my colleagues for the full support of purchasing of a property just on the corner by the gas station in Northside, so that we could actually expand and fix that corner. Now, so very shortly, we'll see NRA doing some works just on the entrance of Queens Highway and by the Jack's gas station there, so that we can fix that corner. The NRA should be putting up a guardrail on one side of that corner shortly. I mean, within about 3 months, I think good God, we must have had about 4 accidents on that corner. So as a safety aspect, we started to look at that and going to tackle of how we actually deal with the entrance of going into Queens Highway, but coming around that corner. So I'm happy for that. I'm also, just to update my people in Northside, the Oman Bay dock, as we spoke about earlier, that's coming on very well. I want to also tell them that the seniors' home for Northside is, we purchased the land for that, or the property for that. We're in planning permission right now for the rearrangement of it. So hopefully by next year we can start to make the changes to the property, and I would say before the end of that year, out next year, we should be ready to go to do the groundbreaking and opening of the seniors' home in Northside. My colleague also spoke about the new school, the Edna Moyle School. So we purchased the properties just to the east of the school now, where we actually will be building the new Edna Moyle Primary School. And so we can actually do all the construction work on that side, and then once that's done, we can transition the kids over without disturbing the school, and then actually start to work on the older school and what the minister will decide to do with the older school at that time. But I'm just happy to say that works are going on in Northside that long awaited for, that we needed to be done, and there's so much more that OC that we have to talk about that I almost said I won't tell you that if you have opening next week Friday, I'll be back on your show again next week Friday.
We can look into it
to talk so much more, because there's things about planning and other departments that I think we have to talk about. Some legislation that we want to look into to change in planning laws, and how do we streamline, make planning a lot more easier. I must support my colleagues. My colleagues have supported me actually with giving planning more money to be able to hire more staff when it comes to planning inspectors. So we've got a full-time planning inspector in the Bracknell dedicated for them, but we also are just hiring on another 4 more for Grand Cayman, so that we can try to get we understand that that inspections are taking a long time, so we want to get in and out. So we're planning numbers well, let me revert back a little bit, is that a lot of people don't realize how much an inspector actually does in one day. And I think right now our inspectors are out there, they're busy as they can be. Some of them are doing close to 15, 20 inspections a day. Right, and that's very hard for one inspector to do with the way the economy is right now. So we need to hire out, get more staff out there to be able to combat the way the work is moving. But one thing we also wanted to look at is starting to enforce or actually empower third-party inspectors and renewals. So that would allow master electricians to start to do their own inspections, master plumbers to be able to do their own inspections. Similar as engineers, right now where engineers can sign off on drawings, and maybe also we're part third-party renewals of, there is a company here now that do third-party drawings, inspections of drawings, so opening that up a little bit more, that we can kind of take the stress off of the planning right now. So there's a lot more for us to talk about, but I don't want to take up the whole last part of your show, because I know my other two colleagues want to speak. So
you only gave them 3 seconds. Mr. Brown, very quickly.
I'm okay to just leave it. I think my colleague covered most of it. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I look forward to being here back next week if you allow us.
Certainly. Mr. Rankin.
Yeah, thank you, Wusi. Just quickly, just want to advise the people in East End that the Donovan Rankin upgrade for the restrooms and changing room is progressing. There's still some work to be done with BCQS. Once that's been done, then we move forward, and there's still all intention of getting the shovel in the ground this year for that. And quickly, there's also further upgrades for the Civic Center being planned for audio and a digital screen to be installed. And also, I know Minister had said that he'll be supporting some repairs of the farm roads in East End, because I do get a lot of calls from farmers about that particular farm road that needs some repair.
Okay.
That's correct.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you all for being here. Folks, I want to thank you for loving Radio Cayman, and by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. John Sterling, Dwayne Maggs, at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these 3 beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery. Inspiring luxury. And JN Money. From abroad to yard. Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind